And now, let us prepare our hearts and our minds for a time of meditation. I invite you to find a comfortable position in your seats. Close your eyes if you wish, and take a few deep breaths. Let go of any distractions or worries that may be on your mind. Thank you.
When I pray, I feel my heart goes deeper. My heart goes deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper. My heart goes deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love goes deeper. My love goes deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love goes deeper. My love goes deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
If you have not already done so, at this time you may wish to close your outer eyes or soften your gaze. Take a moment to adjust your physical body, that you are present right here, right now. Allow within yourself anything that you've been holding on to simply be released for a moment. That this moment, right here, right now, we are fully aligned with the presence and the power of peace within. With each breath, we allow ourselves to sink more fully into the knowing of the peace found within our own hearts. And with each breath that we lean into that peace, we feel ourselves relaxing even more, relaxing any tensions in the body, releasing any tensions of the mind, allowing ourselves to feel the presence of peace. As we prepare to enter a moment of silence, we affirm that if any thoughts or ideas pop into the mind that distract us from peace, all it takes is a simple breath to breathe back in, to focus our awareness on the heart and simply let it go with the exhale, so that we are continuously moving back into the peace found within the silence as we pray right here, right now, together for a moment of silence. With the next inhale, gently begin to bring yourself back to awareness of this now moment in your physical body, in your physical setting. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes as you allow that feeling of peace, that presence, that knowing that right here, right now, God is present with you exactly where you are. And we allow this peace to rise into our conscious knowing as we gently flutter our eyes open and behold the light within all in this community. And so it is.
There was a time I believed life was over for me. There was a time I believed my life was over. I feel strong today, thanks to your help. I'll find my way, and I too will lend you a hand when you need one. Sometimes I get so down, I feel like this is the end, like there's no way in hell I can get over this mountain. The sun has come out beyond the shadow of my doubt. I am walking on this earth stronger than ever. There was a time I believed there'd be no love for me. There was a time I believed I'd get no loving. I feel love today, thanks to your help. I'll find my way, and I too will lend you a hand when you need one. Sometimes I get so down, I feel like this is the end, like there's no way in hell I can get over this mountain. The sun has come out beyond the shadow of my doubt. I am walking on this earth stronger than ever. There was a time I believed there'd be no money for me. There was a time I believed there'd be no money. I feel rich today, thanks to your help. I'll find my way, and I too will lend you a hand when you need one. Sometimes I get so down, I feel like this is the end. Like there's no way in hell I can get over this mountain. The sun has come out beyond the shadow of my doubt. I am walking on this earth stronger than ever. There was a time I believed there'd be no peace for me. There was a time I believed there'd be no peace. I feel peace today, thanks to your help. I'll find my way, and I too will lend you a hand when you need one. Sometimes I get so down, I feel like this is the end. Like there's no way in hell I can get over this mountain. The sun has come out beyond the shadow of my doubt. I am walking on this earth stronger than ever. I am walking on this earth stronger than ever. I am walking on this earth stronger than ever.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Alethea Rising, Dinah and Sierra. We are so grateful for your gifts your creative gifts that you bring to us today. So thank you so much for being here. I'm Reverend Jen Hutchins, and it is truly my joy to be here with you today as well. For anyone who has not already done this, we're going to be doing a little creative activity today, because today is all about your creative life, and we are going to be empowering you with the knowing that you are a creative being. So whether you are a singer, a dancer, a songwriter, a painter, you like to bake cakes, you love to garden, whatever your creative outlet is today, we're going to enhance that even more. And for those of you who are sitting there staring at the screen going, Reverend Jen, I'm not creative at all, we're going to turn that around today. You're going to see how creative and how powerful your creativity is by the end of today. So for our exercise today, you're going to need a pen and a piece of paper. So if you don't already have these things, go ahead and grab them now. I promise to not say anything that is going to be life-shattering and you're going to miss if you're not here for like the next 2 minutes. So 2 minutes, go grab your pen and paper so we can dig into that together today. So I want to start off while folks are grabbing their paper, just introducing myself just a little bit to you. It probably from the earlier introduction, you got the fact that I enjoy creativity. I am the founder of Unity Arts Ministry. We are an arts-based alternative unity ministry. So we're under the Unity Worldwide Ministries umbrella, and we do things a little bit differently in our ministry. And that is that we intentionally create classes, workshops, and retreat experiences, both online, so y'all can join us, and in person. We have a studio on campus at Unity Village. And our intention with all of those programming is to help people use creative expression as a path to deepen their spiritual journey. So we're combining creative expression with spiritual enrichment. So how did I get there? Because this is, it's not a traditional path. It didn't exist before I created it. And the key here is I used my own power of imagination, right? I went from that, sense of what am I doing? What's mine to do? And leaning into that imagination to say, ooh, here's what's possible, right? And so I want you all to know you can lean into this too, and you can create whatever it is that you want to create, whether it is your career path or changes in your own life. Like the song said, sometimes we feel so stuck in what is that we can't see an out. And one of the gifts of creativity and the power of imagination is we begin to see things differently. We began to see literally outside of the box. And most importantly, creativity and spirituality are interlinked. So as an artist, right, so often when I introduce myself to people or tell them what I do, the first thing that they will say is either ooh, I'm an artist too, and I can relate, or I'm not creative, right? It's like one of two responses most of the time. I'm seeing head nods from our musicians. So like as creatives, you get this, right? People like automatically like make this like, so probably for you, it's I can't sing. It's either, oh, I love to sing or I can't sing. And the thing is that we are all born with like creative spiritual DNA. And it's like pretty much my mission here on earth to help people remember that you are born with that. From the time I was in first grade, literally, I told people my future job was going to be as an art teacher. And I know that doesn't happen for everyone, that like by 7, you know what your calling is. I knew it. I knew this is what I'm going to be doing. Not at this level by any means, right? I thought I was going to be in a classroom, and I did that for a while. But life has a way of pushing us, right? Pushing us beyond what is into what else is possible, what else is calling us forward. So I have a favorite saying, and I love this so much that I used to have it on the back side of my business card. It's a quote by Henry David Thoreau. And it is, the world is but a canvas to our imagination. The world is but a canvas to our imagination. And what I love about this is that first, it's telling me that my imagination is powerful. Secondly, I can paint anything I want, right? As an artist of my own life, as the artist of your own life, you get to create anything you want. And you don't have to wield a physical paintbrush to create it. It is your imagination that makes the outpicturing possible. So what is, first of all, creativity? Because so often, like I said, people get stuck in this I'm not creative space. And what's happening there is we're telling ourselves this limited definition of creativity. We're picturing creativity as, fine arts only. Perhaps creativity means you stand on a stage and sing, or being creative means you paint like the Mona Lisa and it's now hanging in a gallery behind glass somewhere, right? These are like the high end of artistic expression and how we see that in our culture, but that's not all that creativity is. It's a very, very narrow definition of how some artists express their spiritual gift of creativity. Creativity itself is making something that didn't exist before. Anything, making something that didn't exist before. So think about that. How often in your life do you create something? You create ideas constantly. You create with your words. You have conversations. You write emails, creative act. You create in the kitchen. You create in the garden. You create all the time. And so often when we do this type of creativity, we're doing it sort of unconsciously, right? We're not identifying, I am creating right now. I'm being an artist of my life and I'm creating. But the truth is that we are. We are. Creativity is this natural gift that you're born with. And the imagination is sort of the power that fuels your creative gift, that takes nothing, the blank canvas, and turns it into something else. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore identified imagination as one of the 12 core spiritual powers that exist within each one of us. And I love, he even identified the position of it as right here, right? What we might also identify as the third eye, or, this point right here. And that is also a place that many would identify as the energy of spiritual perception, this idea of imagination and spiritual perception being linked. So rather than seeing creativity as something that is not yours. I want you to claim it today, right? To claim it for yourself, like bring it in. I am creative. I am a creative being. And to recognize that it's this power of imagination that allows you to utilize this creative force in your life. So instead of thinking of the imagination as something childish or, for children only, I want you to really bring that in and allow yourself to play with your own thoughts and ideas, because it's our thoughts and ideas that then create the world that we're experiencing. I love so much the song that Alethea Rising brought in today, because it really speaks to this idea of how we can sometimes feel stuck, right? As I said, sometimes people feel not connected or in alignment with their creative nature, but sometimes we've even lost touch with our imagination. And this can happen, right, for many, many reasons. Sometimes we're told as children, to grow up, stop daydreaming, or we're told that our ideas, right, maybe we express something that we want to create or bring into the world, and we're told that's crazy, you can't do that, and people try to diminish sometimes these ideas that we have that are coming from these deep places of imagination within our heart. And when that happens, and especially if it happens repeatedly, we begin to think, oh, well, this is not an important part of who I am, right? We get stuck in routine. And then what happens is when things come at us in life, we say, oh, that's just the way things are. And there's nothing I can do about it. We feel powerless over the experiences that happen in our lives. We feel powerless when things happen that we feel like, oh, I'm never going to experience love or money or, happiness or health, because we're constantly stuck in this story and we can't imagine anything else. So we need to retrain ourselves to reclaim this power that we have so that we can intentionally utilize it. If our thoughts, our words, our actions are like brushes of paint onto a canvas that are constantly creating our lives, how can we imagine something brighter so that we can outpicture it? As an artist, I'll tell you, before I put my brush to canvas, the first thing I do is I intentionally envision what is it that I'm wanting to create, right? If I have a blank canvas in front of me or, blank page in front of me, it can be so challenging to, just start painting directly on it without any sort of plan. And in our lives, the first step is leaning into imagination. What do I want to see on this canvas? What do I want to see on the canvas of my life? And I think that scriptural narratives can even help us to identify, how do I start? Where do I do with the blank canvas that's before me? Or what do I do with the chaotic canvas that's before me, right? When we look out into the world, into our lives, and we're seeing these challenges, these places that don't feel like peace, they don't feel like love, they don't feel like abundance sometimes. How do we see beyond that and see what it is that we want out pictured? And in Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, right? This is the very beginning. In the beginning, when God created the heavens and the earth was a formless void, and darkness covered the face of the deep, while the wind from God swept over the face of the waters. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. The light is the imagination. It is that spark, that idea, that precedence. Before anything else comes, the light comes. And so when we are looking out at our world canvas and it looks chaotic and dark and clouded, and we can't see what's going through there, the first step is let there be light. Let ourselves see beyond this darkness, see the light, see with the power of imagination, and then that spark, right, lights, and we see what is possible. Now, from that point, right, as an artist, imagine I'm creating a new landscape. I see what is possible. I see what it is that I want to outpicture. Perhaps it's a winter scene, right? We have some snow in some parts of the country happening right now. So I'm picturing a country scene with a little cottage doused in snow, a white picket fence, trees heavy with snow, and their branches are bowing down. So I begin to see this picture first, and then only then, once I have imagined what it is that I want to create, I stick my brush in the paint and I begin one stroke at a time to create that outpictured image. It's the power of imagination is that light. It is the first step for transforming, for creating anything new in your life. So whether, you're planning to create some new recipe that's never been created before, you're planning to design your spring garden, wishful thinking on my part. I don't know about you, but I already have my seed catalogs out and starting to think about, what is this going to look like? Or you're creating a song, a painting, whatever it is, it starts with the power of imagination. And we do the same thing in our lives. I told you we were going to do a little activity. So you have your paper and your pen, right? I want you to think about some aspect of your life or the world, when you look out, something that right now looks perhaps a bit muddled, a bit chaotic, a bit dark. And on your page, just simply note what is it that you were seeing that feels like in this moment a bit of darkness. And we're just going to take a moment to do a written exercise. So this is you getting creative for 1 minute. It's okay for those of you who have some creative anxiety still, just to trust yourself to write whatever's coming through, something that feels like you're experiencing darkness or looking at darkness. Allow your hand to keep moving. Perhaps bring some details into it. Allow yourself to notice how you feel as you're presencing this idea, this concept. And just about 5 more seconds here. And we'll put our pens down and simply notice this is something that is being experienced in the outer world right now. And perhaps our imagination has been closed to what's possible, right? We're seeing the darkness and not yet in that space of light. I know when I first began practicing meditation, right? And there's this idea of, well, just lean into the silence, and from that space, all of the answers of spirit are present and available to you. And I would sit there and try to meditate. And really what happened during those times of silence was my mind just was listing off like to-do lists and, oh, don't forget the dishes later. And, oh, I need to add something to the grocery list. And so I found it so challenging to get out of this spin. And so I wasn't tapping into that space of the possibility. And what I found was that doing something like writing it out, something that's creative, now shifted my mind, and it gave my mind a focus that then I could start even beyond the page, leaning into meditation and receiving that inner guidance and feeling that sense of peace and connection. So what I want you to do next is to take your pen, and over what you have just written, we're just going to take a moment and we're going to scribble over it. Okay, so we're transforming it from what was, these words, these attachments, these ideas, and we're just going to scribble over it. So just scribble away. Let yourself be like a kid and just scribble on the page. And while it feels like scribbling, it feels like child's play. What we are doing is we are leaning in deeper into this meditation, right? We're taking words of what is, and now we're beginning to erase it. We're moving beyond what was into something new. So just quick scribble, cross it off, see what that feels like for you. Notice, pay attention. How does it feel to allow yourself to scribble over this? And once you've got it scribbled nice and all filled in as much as you want, we're going to tear the page up. So whatever this is, we are now transforming it. It no longer exists in this form. This idea is null and void. It's being transformed into something new. So tear it as many times as you wish. Maybe you have big pieces, little pieces, lots of shifts and turns. And now before you, you have a stack of paper. Yes, those of you playing along. And this now has infinite possibilities. It is no longer what it was. It is waiting to become something new. And I'm going to invite you to use these pieces to create an image and answer something from spirit within you that is the answer that transforms the problem. So we're seeing beyond the problem right now to know that God is here, God is present. We turn this over, right? We tear it up, we give it to spirit. And now spirit is going to, through us, provide us with something new. We can create something new out of what was that aligns us with feelings of peace, feelings of joy, feelings of gratitude, feelings of love. But to create from within your own heart, your own spirit, what image will you create that aligns you with answered prayer? The prayer is the presence of God right here, right now, in the midst of all things. How does that wish to express itself through you? Tune in and trust your imagination. When we utilize creative expression in this way, again, we're taking ourselves from that logic, that mind space that tells us what is. We begin to lean into what is possible. Now, for you, you may still be working on your shape, see what emerges. What emerged for me was like a bird. It sort of looks like wings that came out on both sides, and I don't know, it's like two strips down. I'm seeing it as a body. And what that feels like to me is freedom. Freedom from what was and into something new, this space of transformation, of flight. I've done this activity many times, and sometimes individuals will have found heart shapes representing love coming forward. or circles representing wholeness and oneness in the midst of what felt like chaos a moment ago. Now, we had just a short moment for doing this activity, and so maybe you felt incomplete in it, but it's something I invite you to try again uh, later, or to just experience, how did it feel to even consider that there are possibilities beyond the story that we wrote down? Using something like this as a creative practice can tap us in to the power of imagination that can help us shift those stories. And this was, like a 5-minute practice total that can be something that we could start our day with, or if we're finding ourselves, in the middle of the day struggling with some outward challenge, to just write it down and scribble it out, tear it up. And then that next piece, sometimes it can be through the image, or it can be just in that tearing it up that we feel that sense of release. We feel the presence of God beginning to activate our imagination into what is possible. And as we do that, we begin to move into that space. Let there be light. Let there be light. In what was darkness, let there be light. And the power of imagination begins to take over and share with us what we can create. What words do we use in the situation to create that which we wish to outpicture? What actions do we take in our lives to bring about that which we wish to outpicture? The world is but a canvas to our imagination. That canvas is yours to create. It's the masterpiece of your life. What do you wish to create? And how are you going to rely on that power of imagination, that spiritual gift entwined in your DNA, to bring you into that space of experiencing the true gift of living joy? And joy, as the daily word reminded us, connects us to divine imagination, and divine imagination connects us to joy. Thank you all so much for having me here today. It has been my pleasure to be with you. If you want more ideas of how to utilize creative expression as part of your spiritual journey, I invite you to visit me at Unity Arts Ministry. It's unityartsministry.org. And we have other videos of activities that you could do on there as well. So thank you again. Thank you to Alethea Rising. Looking forward to your next song as well.